Hi everyone, this is Brad, the Cook and Create Cleric. You know why? Because I'm critical, because I'm a pastor, let me center myself, and I love to cook. And I'm here to give you a review of a scary movie for Halloween, because it's freaking Halloween! Yay! Yes, I am totally dressed up as Han Solo, because my family is dressed up as Han Solo, and why not? Because it's freaking Halloween, the best secular holiday of the year. And a tradition I like to keep up every year is to watch a scary movie, preferably new, or just one that I've enjoyed in the past, whether it's The Shining, Exorcist, The Bride of Frankenstein, or Night of the Living Dead, or, just anything like that. And there's a lot of good new ones these days. Hereditary, for instance. Well, here is a new one that was recommended to me by the awesome video reviewer Chris Stuckman. He has a channel on YouTube. If you need a good movie review that's a video, I highly recommend him. And this video is almost an homage of him because he recommended a movie that is available on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, as you know, is full of junk and a few gems. Some of the original programming is good, and sometimes they have some good movies, but most of them you just see is a smorgasbord of quantity of junk, especially in the scary movie department. The slithering of the killer slugs, and the bloodening, the blood strikes back. It's just random cheap junk. And this movie is on here because probably it's very cheap and affordable, and its obscurity is unwarranted because it is awesome. It's called Lake Mungo, and I'm here to give you my review of a movie that you could watch tonight if you wish. Yeah, Lake Mungo. Doesn't sound that scary. Just stay with me for a minute because this is an extraordinary movie. It is a mockumentary, like Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, stuff like that. It takes place in Australia in the early 2000s of an Australian family, husband, wife, daughter, and son. The daughter has died from a tragic swimming accident. That's no spoiler, that's the beginning. And after they find her body and they grieve and she's buried, so things start to go bump in the night. Some strange appearances, visions, apparitions. And so is she coming home, coming back, or is this something else? So in the kind of the format, they set up some cameras, start to try to catch what's happening, and they bring in some experts, and they also try to figure out who is Alice, their deceased daughter. This is a young teenager who had secrets, some teenager secrets, and some that are very disturbing, and some that are even horrifying. And as they try to discover who she is, they discover who they are, and with all of the chills that come with this kind of mockumentary for this kind of subject. So, good, bad analysis. The good is the performances. I keep forgetting this is a work of fiction. This feels so real. The performances are incredible. And part of it is that they are doing an interview. This is supposed to be emotions on your sleeve, in your face of, crying and screaming. When you're being interviewed, which I unfortunately had a lot of experience with that. Thank you, people passing my son's bus. Boo. You want to keep it together. You want to keep an even keel. You want to keep those emotions in check. And whether it's excitement or joy or horror or fear or sadness. And these actors and actresses are so darn good at that, I forget that it's not real. I even looked it up a couple times just to be sure. I wasn't certain at times. Maybe this is an actual documentary. It's fiction, but you forget. And at times, you really should let yourself forget because it allows the story to really present itself in an awesome way and suck you in. Second is the scares. We suck at horror these days, and maybe what we think of as horror. We often think of horror as a jolting experience that boo, boo, scare, scare, blah, monster, I'm gonna get you. That it's like if you're going to a scary theme park or scary haunted house, that you're to be jolted into, and that's not scary if there's no story. That's just, a physiological response. I want a good story, and then when those moments come in, to be genuinely creeped out and suspenseful. I think The Conjuring these days have done that well, and then allow those scares to come up where they should be. Or maybe The Haunting in Hill House. Think of it that way. There are moments that are not scary like that, but they get you very dreadful. This movie is very good at that. And the best way to frame it is with its photographs. It does photographs of where you think in a picture that you look at the center of the picture, the center of the action, you don't look off screen. I'm going to try to pull this picture up. It's a picture of my kids at the beach, and it's awesome, it's fun, or maybe it's just one, I'm trying to remember. But then you look off screen and you see there are two boys that are wrestling in the water, and oh, I wish I'd seen that first. This movie is also the same. You think you should be looking on the center to the right, but then the movie starts to zoom in slowly on the left, and then you start to see something, and you're like, oh crap. Oh, and I'm literally getting chill bumps thinking about this movie and those moments. And there are many, and they are well earned. And that is so cool. This movie does its chills so effectively. Also, something else is that this is a very sad movie. You don't think of scary movies to be sad. They're supposed to be suspenseful or horrifying or entertaining. This one has a very, very sad melancholy to it that when it's over, you're just kind of feeling grief. I never felt so sad after watching a scary movie in my life. But I like that. That is a real emotion that's grounded, and it makes it scares. It makes its story feel that much better. I would also say the last 10 minutes of this movie, wow. Massive for storytelling and just a well-earned crescendo that is worth your time. It is fantastic. And now to the negative, and it's really a minor one, and this may be just a style, this just anticipating some of the complaints. Some people may say this movie is not scary. It's not here to blah in your face, and if you're that person, you will not like this movie. Frankly, I think those kinds of movies are lazy. They suck. I want good stories and earn your scares and earn your dread. Also, to that effect, this movie does have a slow burn to it. It sets up its characters first, and then you start to experience the paranormal. I actually like that. I want to know these people. I want to walk in their shoes. I want to understand who they are. So when these things start happening to them, it makes sense. And I like that. I love that. I think that's how movies should be. But I can understand where some people are going to get bored before they get into it. Hang tight and you'll be into this. Now to the analysis is the obscurity of this movie. This is the only movie this director and writer has ever made. And that's unfortunate. I mean, you look up on IMDb, there's a couple shorts maybe he did back in the day. And this is it. This is his only movie. And maybe it's because it didn't really make a lot of money. Very little money, actually. This hasn't even experienced any kind of wide distribution. It's available on Amazon Prime, and I think you can find it on eBay. That's it. And that's really unfortunate. This movie is far too good to be overlooked. That said, it almost makes this movie far more interesting of what it took to make this. And these actors being so obscure that, hey, there's Tom Hanks, I know him, oh, what's he going to do this time? The fact that you don't know any of them makes this movie feel even more real. And that's awesome. And its scares are good. Its story is good. The performances are great. And its chills are awesome. If you do watch it, stick with the credits. There are some great footnotes at the end, including the very last bit of screen at the end of the credits. Ugh. I'm getting chills thinking about it again. And because it's on Amazon Prime, you can watch it at your leisure. The odds of me watching it again tonight in the dark are high. I will say the first time I did see it was in the dark, and I had to move to the daylight because I got spooked. So for my grade, this movie gets a 9 out of 10. The slow burn is enough even for me that it's not going to be a perfect movie, but God, it is close. And maybe on some days I may feel like this is a 10, but this is an easy 9. And I highly recommend it, especially if you want to experience something new. And thanks to Amazon Prime, is accessible. Late Mungo. Highly recommend it. Check it out. And if you enjoy it, I would also encourage you to talk about it. Not just to me, though I welcome that. Talk about it to your friends, to your family, people who like scary movies. A movie like this deserves its attention, and it needs it. And I'd be happy if you hop aboard the Lake Mungo train. May the force be with you. God bless. Happy Halloween, and I will see you later. Bye-bye. That was a terrible wave. Bye.